Hafa and happy holidays, Guam. I'm Tim Blas-McHenry with PNC, and it's that time of year again as 2016 winds down and we get ready to welcome in 2017. We reflect back on the top stories that most likely affected your community during 2016. This past year was, of course, full of controversy within the Catholic Church, from the fall of Guam's top church figure, the arrival of the new guard, and the controversial visit by the head of the Neo-Catechumenal Way. Guam's Catholic Church certainly topped a very eventful 2016. The year will also forever be remembered as the year Guam hosted the Festival of the Pacific Arts. So as we always do, we bring you this whole year in review.
Every high school and middle school on Guam Island.
His character is impeccable.
Worst fire fatality Guam has had. Conscious and now fighting for his life.
Struck in the head with a metal chair while gathering evidence.
Arts for many is a once-in-a-lifetime event.
He's popular with the youth and even active on.
Archbishop Burns will have much on his plate.
And we start with the 2-week stretch of what seemed like never-ending bomb threats to local area buildings and school. Coming at number 10, it all started in January. A rash of bomb threats to Southern High School and other area schools began to pile up. And what started out as written threats found in the bathroom or written on the wall quickly turned into what Governor Eddie Calvo called an act of terrorism. By January 26th, a total of 10 written threats were reported at various schools. The Guam Police Department was able to take some minors into custody, but that did not stop the threats. As it turns out, a Twitter handle by the name of Evacuation Squad ended up being responsible for a recent rash. Threats were made to various private and public entities, including one that threatened every public middle and high school on Guam. On the bomb threats, Governor Eddie Calvo said, quote, "Safety is a priority, and we have to ensure that all these threats are taken seriously." He added, "And this is terrorism, because there has been a dysfunction and disruption in our community these past few weeks and this past weekend in some of the major areas in which our local community and some of our visitors make use of." End quote. Thankfully, no one was injured during that rash of bomb threats, as they all turned out to be hoaxes. All right, for our number 9 story, we check in with Janela Carrera, who was live for the arrival of the first non-Chamorro bishop of Guam's Catholic Church in some time. Janela?
Thanks, Tim. Well, Archbishop Michael Jude Burns arrived on Guam amid deep turmoil in the Catholic Church. Divided, Burns came in with a message of healing and of hope. Here's more.
His arrival is marked by some troubling times within the Catholic community as it prepares to face legal battles over decades of alleged sexual abuse, some from the former head of the church, Archbishop Anthony Apparat. Coadjutor Archbishop Michael Jude Burns arrived at 1 this morning, and at 10 a.m., he was already on his first task, meeting with local clergy. Archbishop Burns talked about his mission here and why Pope Francis appointed him.
That is one of the things that the Holy Father invited me to focus on for healing, to be a bridge, to reunite and solidify the unity of the Catholic community here.
But Archbishop Burns will have much on his plate. He will be the leader of a church that's been hit with 10 lawsuits, 9 of which are for civil claims of institutional sexual abuse. There remains a strong dissension toward Archbishop Apparat as weekly protesters call for his defrocking. And although he's unilaterally abolished the Neo-Catechumenal Way leadership from ownership of the Jonya Seminary, there remains a division between the two factions.
Well, let's check in now with Rebecca Elmore to see what's at number 8.
All right, thanks, Janela. Moving right along to number 8. The Lonnie Apartments made the news in 2016 for a singular incident that prompted local law enforcement agencies to take a, quote, holistic approach to crime fighting. Here's a look at what happened that night at the Lonnie Apartments. 2 witnesses are backing up allegations of police brutality by a 15-year-old boy who was involved in a fight at the Lonnie Apartments. This is the same incident in which a police officer was ultimately hit with a chair and sent to the hospital. The witness says that it was the police who escalated the situation, and they claim police initiated the fight.
They came in, they didn't ask what was happening. They just went straight to hitting the boys that were drunk.
This included the 15-year-old who told PNC that the police beat him up. The witnesses say that after the 15-year-old boy was slammed against the shutters and then slammed to the ground, other people started telling the police officer to stop. That's when they claim that his partner became extremely aggressive. The witness says that the officer's partner then instigated a fight with another minor. This is a different minor, not the 15-year-old who spoke to PNC.
When they were fighting, the boy fell to the floor, and the cop was standing. Then that's when the other one came in with the chair and hit him. Then when the cop kicked him, that's when the chair came in. That's when he hit the chair to the cop's head. Then he fell. Then when he fell, that's when we pulled out that boy that got hurt.
Both witnesses feel that the police officers did not handle the situation properly. Both allege that it was the officers who escalated the situation, and both allege that it was the officers who instigated the fight that led to one of them being hit with a chair. And now for number 7, we turn to Janella Carrera.
Well, thanks, Rebecca. All right, number 7, we take a look back at the 2016 election, which saw the unprecedented shift in local politics as 7 incumbent senators lost their jobs to fresh faces. Perhaps the most surprising aspect of last night's election results was the revelation that several prominent incumbents did not make the cut. Of the incumbents who will not be returning to the 34th legislature are notable figures, namely Speaker Judy Wonpat, who was so close to breaking her father's 8-time record as Speaker of the legislature. Speaker Wonpat, who's currently chair of higher education, was not immune to the latest controversy following ousted Superintendent John Fernandez, ensnaring Senator Narissa Underwood with her. We spoke with Senator Underwood, who gave her take on what she calls a targeted and calculated attack on her and her campaign that proved effective.
There was a concerted effort to target this office or target me as a senator. I certainly felt that because there were flyers that were sent out 2 days before the election.
But the switch out for sitting senators happened across the aisle as well, with Minority Leader Tony Atta, who finished just 3 seats shy from the bottom. The Minority Leader admitted he too was shocked about the staggeringly low results.
As the numbers started coming in, I realized that the people have spoken. You know, they wanted change, and they saw it for, so change they got.
Again, other incumbents that didn't make the cut include Senator Tina Munoz-Barnes, Senator Roy Respicio, Senator Frank Blas Jr., and Senator Brant McCready. And for many of these rookie senators, 2017 will be an interesting year indeed. All right, well, coming in at number 6, a local bodyboarding legend, Bryan Cruz, was tragically killed after a series of events while he was out with some of his friends. Here's more. PNC has obtained the surveillance footage circulating on social media that purports to show the moment Bryan Cruz was knocked unconscious. It apparently happened on the sidewalk on the northern end of Pali San Vitores Road. The video shows what appears to be a shirtless Cruz coming in from the left side of the frame. He appears to lean forward, resting his hands on his knees. Then, a man police have identified as Richard Regadio, who's behind bars and assault charges, enters from the left side of the frame. Seconds later, another man is seen running up to Cruz and punching him, causing him to fall to the ground. A fourth man is seen walking in as the man who knocked Cruz out drags Cruz from the side of the street onto the sidewalk. Police have identified the man seen punching Cruz as J.C. White, and the fourth man is Alfredo Castro. In court documents, it states that Regadio, Castro, and White later carried Cruz out of the view of the camera. It wasn't until later that police discovered Cruz in the backseat of a car, but not in Tumon, where the video was taken, in Hagåtña, in the Linda's Cafe parking lot. At the time, police were responding to a riot that Castro, Regadio, and White allegedly instigated. Cruz was never seen in surveillance footage exiting the car at Linda's or joining in the riot. This led police to believe that instead of calling for help, the 3 suspects left Cruz in the car as they went inside Linda's Cafe. Cruz spent about 4 days in critical condition at the GUAM Memorial Hospital. Sadly, he passed away yesterday morning at the age of 35. Police arrested Castro, White, and Regadio. White was charged with aggravated assault, while Castro and Regadio were charged with assault. Well, the men accused of assaulting Cruz and leaving him for dead are now awaiting trial.
So that's the first half of our year in review. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, our top 5 stories of the year, some that really shook our island and our faith.